Well, welcome in to My Dogs Are Barking on MPW Digital. I got my main man, Austin, over here. I am Landon, and it is our Thursday show, which has been our most successful show when it comes to things like when it comes to us talking about things that we think are going to happen. In particular, at the end of every Thursday show, our Matchups and Pick show, we have a segment called Against the Odds, where we are picking a money line underdog to win. Austin are you 4 for 4 the past 4 weeks? Am I correct on that?
You are. I am. Yeah.
So, if anything, if you're gonna listen to anything in the show, just you can fast forward it if you need to. Although we got a lot of good stuff to get to. But at least listen to Austin's pick because he can't go wrong. I mean, in total, we are what 6 for 8 total. I think I've missed 2, but
Yeah.
you're
6
perfect
for
so
8,
far.
which is still really good.
Not a bad percentage. But yeah, man, we're so excited to be along with you guys this week. And yesterday we had a great episode with Barrett Salee, and he talked about the college football playoff. Talked about how many SEC teams look like they're going to end up making it, and a team who's an independent that looks like they're going to be able to steal a spot from the SEC. And then also just talked about Mississippi State and kind of his message to the fans going forward. This has just been it's a tough week because Mississippi State built a lot of momentum, even losing games, but then versus Arkansas just came out and it was just horrible. Like it's so bad. So yeah, it's an odd week, isn't it, Austin? Like coming off of something like that.
Yeah, I mean, Saturday was just heartbreaking for, every Mississippi State fan. Just the way not even that we lost, it's just the way that we lost, getting beat by 33 points. No one saw that coming. It was just, it hurt. It hurt really bad, and it hurt this fan base. So being on Twitter and just looking at all the people, I mean, they're not feeling good about this team. And I mean, just a week or two ago, they were feeling great about it. And so it's changed so much. This UMass game coming up. I mean, I think 49,000 people were at the A&M game. There's no telling how many people are going to be at this game. It's going to be rough. So yeah, the momentum has really died. I mean, just absolutely, it's dead right now. So hopefully, we got a big. I mean, I hate to say it, a big game, but it really is a big game. I mean, against UMass, because this is a must-win game, and so we gotta pull this out.
Yeah, it's so sad to think about UMass being like the game. People are excited because they're gonna win something. But yeah, we won't get people who follow Mississippi State sports. Like you've heard enough of the defense coordinator position. Like we're not going to continue to talk about something you've heard endless amount of talk about. We did want to bring some attention to the women's soccer team, SEC champs, and they're looking good going forward into the rest of the season. I mean, the team is really really good. Also working on next week an interview with head coach James Armstrong. We're trying to nail down a time for that, but very excited. And so we'll keep you guys in the loop on with that. Make sure you follow us on Twitter, just at MyDogsPod. And Mississippi State basketball. Before we get to these picks, Mississippi State basketball tips off this week, Austin. They are going to start on Monday night at home versus West Georgia. And then Friday night, they will be hosting Georgia State. And both of those games, I know Mississippi State fans, this has got to be at least something you're looking forward to because, like, at least you got a team that can play some. Although we'll see. Who knows? We've been up, folks. Fans have been upset by less, but you got to be pumped about Mississippi State basketball finally starting.
Yeah, I mean, I know for sure. We got a lot of things to be excited about when it comes to basketball. Hopefully, we don't let expectations get the best out of us. But last year was a fairly good year for Mississippi State basketball, and I look forward to this year. It's going to be really exciting. Riley Kugel, the transfer, he's going to be exciting, and then obviously our main man Josh Hubbard, just putting the team on his back is going to be awesome. Q's like just he started he came off the bench a lot like the first half of the season. And it was really Tolu Smith's team. And now Josh Hubbard coming into this season knows it's his team. And I'm so excited to watch Mississippi State basketball. I'm looking forward to something. Hopefully we win at.
Yeah, I mean Mississippi State hoops, well, not just Mississippi State, but SEC in general, man, is so deep from top to the bottom, all throughout this leagues. I'm so excited because also with the basketball, you get like a weeknight, random Tuesday night, some SEC team is playing. And it's televised. So it is great stuff. We will get into our matchups this week. There's a lot of really good games this week. And on top of that, there are also games that are going to determine a lot of things. You think Ole Miss and Arkansas playing on Saturday. That's a huge game, man, because if Ole Miss loses that one, it's lights out. It's over with. The last dance, it's like prom night. There at some point the dance ends, you all got to go home. And it could end on Saturday for Ole Miss. I don't think it will, but I'm just saying it could. And then you have Ohio State, Penn State playing. That's a huge game. And Texas A&M coming off that huge win. Now they go on the road at South Carolina. There's a lot of different elements, Austin, throughout this week and throughout the matchups. But before we get to our matchups and picks, we wanted to let you know that this episode is sponsored in part by ARPA's Coffee and Bar in Starkville in the Cotton District. ARPA's understands that great food and drinks are enjoyed best in the company of friends and loved ones. Their inviting atmosphere creates a perfect backdrop for laughter, conversation, and shared memories. And whether you're seeking a good spot to catch up over coffee, a lively gathering place to celebrate special occasions, or a vibrant late-night hangout, their friendly staff is dedicated to ensure your experience is nothing short of exceptional. Located in the heart of Starkville in the Cotton District. And listen to this. If you mention that you heard about it on My Dogs Are Barking, you will get 15% off of your order, which is a huge deal. So make sure you let them know that. It's a really, really good spot. I'm looking forward to actually going down there. Let's see, it's Thursday, going down there today. So it should be awesome. Austin, we get into our matchups and picks. Here's really where I'd love to start. Ohio State is playing in Happy Valley. They're going on the road. They are 3.5-point favorites, but this game kicks off at noon local time. Who do you have in this game, Austin? Because in this one, Ohio State, I thought about today. If Ohio State loses this one, that's their second conference loss, and their chances of getting into their conference, championship game goes down dramatically with a loss here.
Yeah, I mean, this is a big game, like you said, big playoff implications because you get that first round bye if they whoever wins the conference. So this is a major game for both teams, and Oregon got that big win, or who did Oregon? Oregon played Ohio State, and that was
the last second 3-point game.
Yeah, that was a very tough game for Ohio State to lose. And then this is another top 5 matchup for Ohio State. Again, they're playing on the road, so that really does suck for them. But give me Ohio State. James Franklin has just been historically bad in big games. And it's just, I mean, I think he's going to do it again. And 11 a.m. kickoff really helps that it's not a night game for Ryan Day and Ohio State. Yeah, give me Ohio State. I think Will Howard and them are just enough for Penn State, and James Franklin. I mean, he just does not win big games. So, but we'll see if he does.
Yeah, honestly, if this game's played at night, I might feel a little differently. But I don't know. Happy Valley in the day. Obviously, they're not as good of a team as Ohio State anyway. But I don't know. The noon kickoff just does not give me a lot of comfort for Penn State to win this game. Yeah, I think Ohio State wins it, and I think they cover the 3.5. I think they could end up winning this game by 10. The next one up, man, an SEC game that is this huge. We just mentioned it. Ole Miss is going on the road at Arkansas. Ole Miss coming off a victory over Oklahoma. Very sluggish in the first half. Then they kind of picked it up. Austin, Ole Miss is favored by 7 points in this game, a full touchdown, and it's going to be kicking off at 11 a.m. Central. Who you got in this one?
I got Ole Miss. I'm not really buying into this. I mean, Arkansas is probably going to be feeling great after whooping us, but everybody's whooped us this year. So I don't think that, I mean, they're probably going to be feeling a little bit too good, but I'm not buying into it. This is every game's a big game for Ole Miss because they're trying to make the playoff. And I don't think they're going to just look over this game. I think Jackson Dart and Lane Kiffin's going to be ready to go. So I think they win by probably 14 or 17, so somewhere around there.
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't think this one's going to be close. Like, I think people saw that Arkansas, huge victory and thought, okay, well, they might be able to compete with Ole Miss. But, I hate to bring up the night factor again, but night games are just different. And this is a weird game, I know, but you get that huge momentum off of a winning big time, and then you got Ole Miss coming to town. And Ole Miss, you better believe they're focused. Like, they know this could be it. So I'm with you. I think Ole Miss wins this game by 2 touchdowns. I think, and it could be even more than that, by forcing Taylon Green to make some mistakes. And he showed last week versus Mississippi State, Taylon Green can make some plays. And I know sometimes like he makes those mistakes, holds on to the ball too long, and then does something silly. I mean, he looked like Johnny Manziel in 2012 against us. He was unstoppable. They could not stop him. Oh man, this is an interesting game. Vanderbilt is going on the road at Auburn. Auburn is favored by 6.5. Auburn wins an ugly game in Kentucky. It was so gross, but they end up winning the game. Hugh Freeze makes a comeback from certain death, and Vanderbilt is now on the road. But Vanderbilt being 6.5 point underdogs is a little surprising for me. Diego Pavia was injured in this game, but it is in Auburn, so I guess that's where they're kind of factoring in some of what's going on. This is a 11:45 a.m. kick. Who you got?
I like to be right, and I'm gonna take Auburn. I like Vanderbilt a lot. I want Vanderbilt to win, but at the end of the day, I think Auburn in Jordan Hare, they play so much better there, like in Auburn. And if this was in Vandy, I'm taking Vandy. They played good against Alabama. Obviously, they beat Alabama, and then they only lost by a field goal to Texas at home. But I mean, in Auburn, there's going to be a lot of people there. Give me Auburn.
Yeah, I wish you weren't right, but I think you are. I hate it. I want Vanderbilt to keep winning. I mean, honestly, really take a second to think about this. In 20 years, there's only really been one pretty decent Vanderbilt team, and that was, I think it's 2011, with James Franklin actually had them ranked. Outside of that, can you remember a time that they were this good? So soak this in. Like this is pretty neat stuff to watch and witness. But man, no, I don't think they can get it done versus Auburn. Although I would love a world where Vanderbilt wins this game because Auburn folks are just not really pleased with their team. They're sluggish. Vanderbilt is playing motivated football at this time. So that would be good. But I'm with you. I'm going to take Auburn in this game as well. Okay. Let's do 2 of these next ones here. Texas A&M and South Carolina. So Texas A&M is going on the road, and they, after this huge win versus LSU, they're going on the road to play South Carolina. They're favored by 2.5. Austin. Kickoff is at 7:30 local time there in South Carolina. I'm going to save my analysis on this one for the Against the Odds segment. This is my Against the Odds pick. But South Carolina and Texas A&M, Austin, coming off a huge win for A&M. Who do you have in this one?
Yeah, I'm gonna give it to A&M. Marcel Reed looked, I mean, absolutely phenomenal. And I mean, if they keep him in and they keep this offense rolling, I don't think this South Carolina defense can compete. So yeah, give me that. I mean, South Carolina, they have a great home environment. Honestly, I think it's the most underrated environment in the whole SEC. And Shane Beamer's brought a whole lot of excitement there. But I think Texas is just gonna. They have just too much talent for South Carolina right now. And Lenore Sellers, he's not a great quarterback. He really isn't. And so, yeah, give me A&M. I just think the defensive line is going to be too much for South Carolina. They're just not going to be able to keep up with them.
I'll say this: Marcel Reed did look fantastic. They should have been starting him the whole way through, but he's never met Dylan Stewart. So just gonna throw that out there. The last one we will talk about here. Also, Kentucky's playing at Tennessee. Tennessee's favored by 16.5. I think Kentucky will make that a little bit closer of a game, even though is in Tennessee is that night. But Kentucky's defense is fairly decent. Also, Florida is playing Georgia. Georgia's favored by 16.5. Same thing. I think Florida's going to play this one a little bit closer. But Austin, we get to Mississippi State and UMass before we get to our Against the Odds segment, which you have a great pick for. Again, you have a chance to go 5 for 5. If you go 5 for 5 on these, it'll be tremendous. But before we get there, Mississippi State is hosting UMass this week. They are favored by only 18 points versus UMass. Mike Maynard, who came on our show in the offseason, who did kind of a preview for UMass, he writes for the Daily Collegian, which is a paper up there in UMass. And he kind of helped, along with me, to write a blog this week answering 5 questions about this game from the UMass perspective that's on mydogspod. Substack. Sorry, cannot remember for a moment. That's where all of our blogs will be from this point on. Austin, what's this game going to be like, man? No offensive player in terms of, let's see, we're recording this on a Wednesday. At the moment, we do not have information about Mario Craver playing, so keep that in mind.
Yeah, I mean, this is the real game of the week, and I'm really excited for this game. I can't wait to watch it. I mean, after last week, I hate that. I mean, we both picked us to beat Arkansas, and then we got absolutely mollywopped. So that was embarrassing. But obviously, give me the Bulldogs. I'm gonna say 38-20. I think they're gonna get 2 touchdowns, 2 field goals, and then I think we're gonna get 5 touchdowns and a field goal. Um, Obviously, I mean, I think we're gonna win by 18. I mean, it hurts to say that UMass is going to score 20 points on us, but it can most definitely happen. It can most definitely happen. I'm just man, this is rough out here. I found this a couple weeks ago. UMass actually has a better talent composite than Toledo. I always look. I love talent composites. One of my favorite stats. I don't ever see like anybody else using it, but UMass's is 82, and then Toledo's was 87. So I mean that's 5 teams better. And so I mean that's just by like recruits and stuff like that. So you never know. You never know. But in Starkville, give me the Dogs. I say 38-20.
38-20. So you think he'll cover that 18 exactly? Yeah, UMass's quarterback is not bad. I think he transferred from Clemson. Like I'm almost positive of it. This is going to be rough, man. This is going to be a tough game to watch. I think UMass is going to score in the 20s. I really do. I think Mississippi State ends up winning this one 41-24. I don't really think that UMass can keep Mississippi State out of the end zone. But let's be honest. Mississippi State was kept out of the end zone from the 1-yard line so many times, and then Seydou Traore, is sipping tea and stuff in the penalty, and then we can't score. So that's the only thing. Like, there's no real guarantee Mississippi State's going to score 40 or 50 in this game, but just on talent alone, I would think Craver should be able to break something open. I would think Kevin Coleman could break something open. I would think Davon Booth. But you saw what Toledo came in here at night and did to Mississippi State. So I'm going to say 41-24 Mississippi State. I think that 18 is a little, yeah, it's rough. It's rough for Mississippi State right now. Before we get into our Against the Odds pick, we have our Against the Odds segment brought to you in part by Skip Langley and Edward Jones. What does it mean to be rich? Because here's the thing, Austin. Here's the thing. People, if they would have listened to you these past 4 weeks, you've gone 4 for 4 on Underdog Moneyline picks. Had they done that, they probably could have been rich. But what does it mean to be rich? Maybe it's less about reaching a magic number and more about discovering the magic in life. Skip Langley is your Batesville, Mississippi, Edward Jones advisor serving clients in the area and across the state. Count on him for financial strategies that can help support a life you love. Because the key to being rich is knowing what counts. So contact him today at 662-563-9843. And together you can find your rich. Edward Jones, member SIPC. Yeah, you could do some good stuff with Skip Langley if you were listening to Mr. Austin here. Yeah, so Austin, in this game this week, give us your pick, because you've been right for literally the past month we've done this show. During the segment, you have hit it every single time. And I'm going to be honest with you, I think this one might be your best pick yet. Tell us what it is.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm hoping. Right now, Minnesota and Illinois, 11 a.m. kickoff. Illinois is favored to lose that game, and I'm not buying that. Minnesota's favored to win by a field goal. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I got Illinois. I mean, Luke Altmaier's, Starkville native. He's a great quarterback. And Brett Bielema he's had a great season this year. And so I think I just don't. I mean, I was looking at the stats from Minnesota. They got some good guys offensively, a good quarterback who can throw for a lot of yards. But I'm just not buying that. I'm saying Illinois, who, I mean, they're a legitimate team this year. I mean, they've looked really good. They're 6-2. They're still ranked. So yeah, give me Illinois for my pick.
I think that's tremendous. Illinois, people forget, I get it. They had that rough win over Purdue. Then they beat Michigan by 2 touchdowns. Then, last week they got beaten pretty soundly by Oregon, who's the number 1 team in the nation, might I add. Just throwing that out there. and now they get Minnesota at home. Seems like they've been humbled the past couple weeks. I love that. I wish I would have thought about that, but I did not. Instead, I'm going with South Carolina over Texas A&M. Texas A&M was highly coming off a highly crazy win, beating LSU, really big. They now sit atop of the SEC at this point. It's A&M, and their only losses to Notre Dame at the beginning of the season. But going into South Carolina after such a huge win at night, it just has a South Carolina upset written all over it. And South Carolina has a pretty decent running game. So I think if they can do those things well, they'll be fine. Marcel Reed ran a lot of kind of zone read. I mean, he wasn't throwing the ball all over the place. LSU just could not stop Marcel Reed and kind of that zone read scheme they had. I think South Carolina and their edges are better at this moment than what LSU has. Now, like historically, LSU's got phenomenal defensive linemen, but this defensive line at South Carolina, they're really good. Also, man, I can't wait for the transfer portal to open up. I'm not saying I know anything. South Carolina, I'm sure we'll throw a lot of money at Dylan Stewart, but dude, what could that guy get on an open market somewhere? No telling. No telling. He could be rich, we'll say that. I'm taking South Carolina, though, over Texas A&M. Very excited this week. It's going to be a great weekend. Very excited. We got some cool family stuff we're doing this weekend. We got Austin and I are running in a 5K, which is going to be really fun. That should be a good time. This is my first 5K in several years. Since the spring of last year, I've lost 52 pounds. I still got a while to go, but I'm very excited. It's been a long time here. In Austin, this guy is as skinny as a rail, and I'm very excited to see what his time ends up being as well. We're also going to have our buddy Sal running with us. That should be a good time. Shout out to Sal. It's going to be a great time. Going to be a great weekend. Let us know what you think. If there's any of these picks in particular that you go, y'all are being dumb, here's what's going to happen, let me know. I think Austin's pick is the best one out of any of these. I mean, historically, I'd be right. I'm telling you, if you go 5 for 5, we're going to have to do something.
That would be crazy. That would be wild.
It would. Maybe we'll have to like clip all the things together, like you saying it, and then like show a clip of it happening, you saying it, that kind of thing.
That would be
cool.
And
then we can show mine that have gone wrong as well. So it would be good. Make sure you check out all the other things on MPW Digital, all the other shows. Hey, also, MPW Digital this week reached 10,000 subscriptions, which is really amazing. I mean, that's really something. We are thrilled to be a part of MPW Digital. We came on, they're barely known. I think they only had 7,000 subs, and no, obviously we're very thankful to be a part of MPW Digital and just be a small part in what is a really neat network. But we thank you guys so much for always watching. Make sure you also follow us on Twitter, just at MyDawgsPod. Keep up with us there. You can follow us on TikTok if that's your jam, just to see clips from the show. Also follow our Substack to read articles each week. We got 2 really good ones up already, so make sure you check those out at mydawgspod.substack, and we